Good morning, Hit Nation. My name is Roy, and this is going to be my Worthless Half a Penny Part 14 ECF Game 4 edition. And first, the question of the day is, who are the two top scorers in a Miami Heat jersey all time? We're going to talk about that. Number one is not going to be surprising. Number two, maybe. Depends how good of a fan you are. These are things that we should all know as fans. Okay, by the way, we should all know as fans. The only thing that I can say about the chokers, it came out as I was gonna make a joke, but it kind of came out instantly. That's what I believe they are. I'm sorry. I think the Pacers. It's such a shame. I think they have a great team, and I think that whatever pieces they're missing, again, they're fixable. We'll see how they do, and I think that if there is anyone to particularly blame for their loss this way, to be swept by also giving the Celtics the hardest time of all the other teams, regardless of having Halliburton injured because other players stepped up, is Carlisle. Rick Carlisle is the guy to blame. So there isn't much to say. Celtics are in the finals. We knew that was going to happen. In my opinion, they're going to win it all. I told my friend yesterday to bet on Pacers winning one. They couldn't do it. As usual, it seems like they follow a strict script. Strict script. In any which case, they choked, and that's that for that. As for the Boston Celtics, the interesting thing about everything is that I said in the beginning of my Worthless Half a Penny series here on YouTube, I said that Jason Tatum is not going to get an MVP, and he didn't get the MVP for the ECF, which I think is hilarious. He wasn't indeed the best player on his own team. So it's interesting, as a scorer and a person that carries the team on their back, Jimmy Butler today is better than Jason Tatum. I mean, last season at least, Jimmy Butler, we got to see him, is better than Jason Tatum is today. And Jason Tatum is pretty much close to his prime, right? It gets a little bit better maybe, but it's normally gonna get like that until his decline. Whether or not he's a superstar is debatable. I would say he is. It depends on your definition of a superstar, but he's certainly a star player, right? You have two star players in that team, and you have great role players, and you also have the absence of Porzingis. That honestly, the Celtics wants us to forget it. Porzingis is only relevant once he becomes relevant. He's not relevant. It hasn't been relevant until now because the Celtics had no issues beating the teams, and all of the teams they faced were either severely injured, became severely injured toward the end, like the Cavaliers, or as the Pacers. The Pacers, I don't think it was the injury. Again, it's Carlisle. So the question that Five Reasons Sports posed, and they say all the same things that we say. It's a Mickey Mouse. I think it's a Mickey Mouse until they win Dallas, and that's why I want Dallas to win today. So Dallas doesn't have an extra game. So it's actually fair, not just for Dallas, but for the Celtics themselves. The Celtics, at the end of the day, only their fans appreciate with great enthusiasm, as they should, by the way, appreciate with great enthusiasm what it is to be in the position that they are right now. But any other fan in the NBA and the media itself is already picking up on that narrative, understands that this asterisk, this Mickey Mouse kind of situation in which, okay, you face the Heat, but, half the team is injured, either now or before. Then you face the Cavaliers, either now or later. Then you face the Pacers. They gave you the hardest time, but they choked so badly. They were so badly outcoached by, my opinion, a very mediocre coach who is Joe Mazzulla. And at the end of the day, the Celtics haven't proved themselves in the playoffs, but they more than proved themselves in the regular season. We have to agree with that, right? We have to agree that they had a historical regular season. So it's the playoffs that matter. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of the MVP. It's going to be pretty funny, like I said, to have Derek White as an MVP for them. As much as I don't like him as a player, I don't know him as a person. There are very few people that I'm going to say that I don't like as people because I don't know them, right? I know very little of them, and that's it. Now, what Five Reasons Sport was asking is if the Miami Heat should build a team to beat the Boston Celtics. I don't think that's fair to ask necessarily because, again, I don't think that, as they mention, right, as Brady Hawk especially, Sean, for his name, Sean Rochester, He's the guy that is kind of like the brass right there, his boss, and he kind of thinks that building a team to beat another team has always failed, and that's true in in other sports as well. We don't have that so much in soccer because the same philosophy prevails, right? This is not about beating one particular team, although that's a team that you want to beat. But this is about improving your team, and this is about improving your team throughout the regular season as well. As Brady Hawk says, it's about beating the Wizards on a Tuesday night in the regular season, which I agree, right, in February, which I agree, by the way. And I think that the regular season needs to be taken more seriously. So what is the solution? What do I want the Heat to do? I basically want them to build a team as we've been talking about for a long time. That's more offensively independent and that is a little bit larger. I don't know about the larger part because we know what Spo's ideas are, and we haven't seen this happen no matter what player was available. The last big, I think, was Precious that we got. I don't even remember. I know Love. Okay, great, but that's a difference. So, again, right? You're taking a player that is at the end of his career. Great to have him, but still at the end of his career. I don't know what the roster is going to look like beginning of the season. We're going to still see about that. In any case, the answer to the question that we had at the beginning is, of course, Dwayne Wade wins the cake. He scored 21,556 points. The surprising part for me is that number two, well, for longevity, shouldn't be as surprising, is Alonzo Mourning being number two with 9,459 points. By the way, Jimmy Butler has over 6,200 points, to be exact, 6,204 points, which is very interesting considering his short time with the Miami Heat. I want Butler to succeed. I want Butler to have a comeback season, but we cannot expect Butler to carry this team anymore. We couldn't expect him to do it last season either, and we can't be a playing-in team again. So that's my answer to what 5 Reasons Sport presented, which is basically what they said. F Boston. Let's go Heat.